43.
42. 41.
40.
39.
Number 1.
39.
38.
37.
36.
35.
34.
33.
32.
31.
30. 29.
28. 27.
26.
25.
24.
23.
21.
20.
19.
18.
17. 16.
15.
14.
13.
12.
11.
10. 9. 8.
7.
6.
5.
4.
3.5.
3.
2.
1.
Hey, Rocky, you want to see me pull a show out of my hat? Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! Hi, and welcome to the Mouthwash Talk Show. We are having just a little bit of technical difficulties here tonight. I'm using the same stream as last week, and it's giving me a little bit of a fit here. So if you hold on one second, we have a great guest tonight. We have Kirk Freeman, attorney from Lafayette, and he's got some experience in the swatting industry. I guess it is an industry now. That we're going to go through. I'm going to put that one up there. How's that? Just do the regular mouthwash. There we go. All right, now all is good. So we have Kurt Freeman coming on, and we're going to talk about swatting. It seems to be very popular these days, and I just have questions about it. And he's going to tell us about his story and what happened. And his happened actually in 2019. So it was before it was vogue to do this swatting. He was involved in that. But I want to talk about we got the swatting going on, and I think it's interesting because we don't know who did that. Now, I do have a source, a very reliable source, and I don't want to give that name out. I don't want to reveal my source, but you can count on it being viable, that the state police had decided that, or had done some investigating, and that the calls were coming from Norway. So, but it's probably not coming from Norway. It's probably bouncing off of Norway. And I know that some people will get around paywalls by saying they're from France or from a different country and come in to our internet from abroad. So that's probably what has happened. And that's how that goes down. But, there was one, Andy Zay was somebody who was swatted with a bomb threat at his business. And the trend had been, if you are against this redistricting and you are a Republican, then you are in trouble. But we don't know who did this. I mean, it could be somebody totally on the other side that wants to set up some divisiveness inside a party. What's the best way to do that? Is like, throw throw some raw meat in there and say, hey, you guys go get this. So until we really find out who did it, that really makes a big difference, because if it is within the party, then that's something. But if it's the other party just trying to cause chaos, or if it's just somebody that's just wanting to, cause chaos with both parties. So there's a lot of questions to be answered with that, with this swatting. So that's what we have. That's why we have the beautiful Mouthwash Talk Show. It's right, left, center, or Republican, Democrat, Libertarian. And hey, special guest tonight on the Republican side, in for Tiffany, Kelly Calloway. So this is going to be fun. And if you saw on the interview there, I got her in her big hair getting fixed up one day. But yeah, she's known for her hair. That's for sure. But she'll bring in some good opinions tonight from the Republican side, and we'll get this thing started. So I'm going to go ahead and bring on Mr. Freeman. Let's see here. Hello, Kurt. How are you?
Hello, sir. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. I just was scrolling through. This is how I find guests, folks. Scrolling through Twitter, and I see this guy put on there, hey, I was swatted. I'm like, do tell. Sent him a message real quick, and he said, yeah, I'll be glad to come on and talk about this. So, Kirk, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and where you're from. It says attorney in Lafayette, Indiana, but honestly, that's about all I know about you.
Okay, yes, thank you. My name's Kirk Freeman. I have my own law firm up here in Lafayette, Indiana. I'm right across from the courthouse entrance here on Columbia Street. I've been practicing law for 30 years. I was a deputy prosecuting attorney for about 4.5 of those. Joined a law firm in 2000 and then opened my new place, my own place, January 1, 2001. So I've been on my own for about 25 years now. Have staff, have other attorneys, that sort of thing. I'm originally from the west side of Indianapolis, Ben Davis grad.
Well, there you go.
West side, there on High School Road.
Yeah, I know where that is. I live in Mars Hill. That's where the Chateau de Mars Hill
yeah,
studio is.
I grew up north of you, sir.
Yeah, that's cool. So what is your are you general practice, or do you specifically practice?
We do a lot of criminal defense. That's probably about 80% of the practice. I had a special public defender contract for about 16 and a half years. I still take a lot of appointments, depending on what the courts need be. I think I may be the only death penalty certified attorney in the county. I'm not really sure, but we don't have that here in Tippecanoe County. We also do personal injury as well as family law, and I still do a lot of administrative law, liquor licenses, pharmacy, nursing, that sort of thing, professional licensing.
So cool. We do allow questions from our chat, and Drew has a question for you. Ask him questions about defamation. Do you do much? What's your opinion on defamation? So I'm currently being sued for defamation for making fun of somebody's cat. I don't know what the thing is, but it's not. It's
Their
in process.
cat?
Well, I don't know. It was I said something. I don't know what it was, but yeah.
How does one show damages to a cat?
Well, I guess we're going to find out, but it's in process. And how do you say? I can't talk about this case because it's ongoing. Is that what you say?
Yeah, pending litigation.
Pending litigation. That's what you say. But
yeah, that's the safest thing to say. I'm still trying. That sounds like a law school hypothetical. You know, is the cat a public figure?
Yeah,
is the cat famous enough to be a public figure to show malice?
Yeah, the cat is a public figure, so that is. But I'm one of 5 or 6 that are in this crusade. So anyway,
I see. Well,
this is
best
not
of luck to you, sir.
Yeah, I have a good attorney, and things are going well. But
who represents you?
I have Jeff McCreary. He's down here in Indianapolis. I've been very pleased with his work so far. And
good. Hope it works out for you, sir.
Yep. So anyway, that's it's sort of funny to get that in there. But defamation is very hard to prove. We just had Sue Finkham, the mayor of Carmel, was being sued by the Chris Mart person, and it was thrown out. She said something about a financial this or that, and I didn't see the whole thing, but it was dismissed. But it took about 1.5 years to get it done. So that's
on the obverse side of the coin. My friend Abdul has successfully sued a couple of people down there in Indianapolis.
That is who is suing me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So yeah.
Over a cat?
Well, it's about the same thing. I'm not really sure. It's a couple things on the internet he sent over. I don't know. It sounds he more or less defamed himself in what he sent in, but it's not doing well in that case. So we just have to let the legal system bear itself out at times, right? Well. So, but anyway, let's get back to yours. Let's get back to that. So your attorney, I'm going to go ahead and bring the panel on. It looks like they're back. The Lucy's back there. So let me get them all out here, and then we'll see if we can't get everybody in the right places. Oh, good. It's moving around. So you got to come down here with me. Lucy's in the middle. Brad's on the left. And Kelly's on the right. There we go. We have to have that right. So we have Brad Sawinski. Brad, say hi to Kirk. And what's up?
Hey, Kirk. Yeah, there's the cat that's going to get sued. It's mad about a bunch of stuff all the time. I never know what. No, but I saw Paul McCartney last night at the United Center, and that was a pretty badass overall. Like he kept telling stories midway through, and I like wanted him to play more songs, but keep telling more stories too. It was nuts. It was like a history lesson of music. So
Hey, we all know you're Kurt. Brad is a big Fish fan. He travels all over. How many Fish concerts have you been to, Brad? Do you have a count or just
40? I'm gonna go to but I'm going to New Year's this year in at Madison Square Garden, and so on the 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st. So it'll be 44.
I had a friend from high school that been to 232 Rolling Stones concerts.
Oh yeah, like and there's people who are in like hundreds and
crazy.
hundreds.
Wait a minute, you're going to the concert like 3 nights in a row?
4.
Oh dang!
I'll tell you.
Yeah, they don't play the same song each night. Like they won't. So every night they'll play a different.
He's a Fish fan. He just goes to all of them. He's what I don't even know what they call Fish fans. They call them carps or whatever. But anyway, Lucy, how are you doing tonight? Say hi to Kirk.
Hey, Kirk, I actually put a question for you in the chat. I've got my 12-year-old on here. She's afraid to go out and feed the chickens. So even though I'm on here live, she's like,
so yeah.
It's to get the groceries out of the car. So I'm supposed to like ride along with her and keep her safe from 2 hours away.
Big bad mom's got to keep her safe there. But it says, hey, Kurt, I graduated from Northwest High School back in 1989. What year did you graduate from Ben Davis?
87. My brother graduated from Ben Davis in 89.
Oh, you probably know my friend Jen Hinton then.
Jennifer who?
Hinton, Hinton. We were in the dance class together.
Yes,
kids.
I knew Miss
We're
Hinton.
still friends.
Yes.
We're still friends today. She's
Okay.
an awesome person.
Well, small world unless you got to paint it. Kelly Calloway, I think this is the first time you've been on as a panelist, right? You've been on the
It's been a
show.
long time since I got you a strike on YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because you said vaccine 65 times.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly, I love your sweater.
Thank you. You can only wear it one time a year, so I figured I'd better wear it today.
Yeah, it's like
Do you think he would cook a good turkey though? Like
we pardoned one today.
Would you trust him to cook a turkey?
No,
he'd hire out.
He's not a cook.
Trump would hire out.
And then he wouldn't pay the caterer after he hired them out.
There would be litigation to follow, likely, yes.
That's funny. That's funny. So, all right. Well, the gang is all here. So, Kirk, go ahead and tell us your story about your swatting incident back in 2019, or was that when the court case was? Did the incident happen?
Court of Appeals decision was in 19. The incident happened in 2017. What had happened is I had a TPR pending in that judge's court. TPR is a termination of parental rights. It's when a CHINS goes on. And the state of Indiana decides to terminate the relationship between the child and the parent. There was a hearing. The court provided an expert who did not seem to understand the concept of angular velocity, and having somewhat of a ballistics and physics background, we were able to challenge their theory of the case. The judge did not like that. I then later filed on something completely unrelated. The county had purchased a bank building, which they're using as a county annex building. I filed and I always say, if I knew this would be in litigation, I would have typed it up, but I hand wrote a Freedom of Information Act request. We call it APRA, Access to Public Records. Went over to the commissioner's office and hand wrote it. Wanted information on what was going in there, nothing exciting or anything like that. And then outside another courtroom, a couple members of the regular public defender's office were asking about the then new Pinner case, which was a search and seizure case that the Supreme Court of Indiana had ruled on. And I was explaining to him how it could be used. That sort of thing. She did not like that either. Did not like me appreciate me educating the regular public defender's office, so took great umbrage. Apparently, I didn't know it at the time, but she had contacted the sheriff and said I was carrying a gun in the courthouse. Now, even back then, Indiana was not very restrictive on where you could and could not carry a gun. However, there was a local ordinance where you could not carry a pistol in the courthouse, even if you were an attorney. It was an infraction, but I told people I don't care about the $50 infraction. I care about the contempt of court that the circuit court judge had ordered no carrying in the courthouse. So, I'll pay a $50 fine every day, all day, but, contempt of court then gets you up to 6 months in jail, plus, fines. So I was asked by the bailiffs here. They're mostly retired law enforcement officers. They're double dipping. They're working a second gig. All great guys. They did a really good job. And they asked me if I was carrying a gun. But first they asked me to go to the bathroom, which I found was a little weird. But they said, "Hey, Kirk, can we talk to you? This isn't uncommon for police officers have legal trouble just like everybody else. Problems with a neighbor, problems with child support, problems with the ex-wife, what have you. So I'm used to talking to cops about their legal problems. If I can't help them, I can farm them out to someone who can. I've been doing this 30 years, so know a lot of people up here." And he asked me if I was carrying a gun in the courthouse, and I looked at him like he had two heads. And I opened my jacket and said, no, Scott, I don't have a pistol on me. Where'd this come from? And they started to dance around. Well, we can't tell you. It's really secret, that sort of thing. I called the sheriff of my county, Tippecanoe County, and I asked him. He said it came from the judge. And I said, why would a judge tell you that, something that's not true? Her boss, she was the magistrate. The elected judge wouldn't talk to me about it. Nobody would talk to me. Everybody went radio silent. It's sort of that image of the governor of Michigan at the White House with the folder over her face where she's, hiding her face from the media. They just wouldn't talk to me at all. So I then discovered that it was in retribution for tearing her witness apart on cross-examination, metaphorically, and then discussing the Penner decision with the public defenders and making the APRA request. So I took umbrage at this. I sued, oddly enough, for defamation, as well as a couple other things. And the Court of Appeals said that judicial immunity applies no matter how malicious or how malignant the incident, the complaint that was directed against me. So therefore, I could not recover in damages
That's
for her
BS.
actions against me. And that's a reported case decision, Freeman versus Thompson, from 2019. But the original incident was in 2017.
Yeah, and so I'd never heard of this, and Steve Whitmer, the Witty Reviews, he's on the show before. We were, I call it telephone swatted, when I had the Capitol Police call me and accuse me of taking pictures of a senator's kids and putting them online. And the problem was, it wasn't me. They got confused on Twitter and decided that I was that guy, and it was not me. So then I told him, I said, well, I think I know the guy it is. I told him who it was, and he got a call. But it was fabricated because they had accused him of showing these pictures of this senator's kids at school, and none of that existed. It was a total made up, fabricated hit job. And so it's like I call it telephone swatting. So that was a couple of years ago. And then you've heard about this nationally. People have done that. But here at home, this is sort of weird. They were just like swat, 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 swat. And then I run across your comments on one of those X accounts.
Yeah, it's almost like they were targeted, like they all had tweets with their own faces and their names and their districts on it saying, hey, these people did wrong and they need to be dealt with. Kind of by a higher up, kind of like the guy on the sweater over there.
So Kelly, what do you got to say about that? It sounds like Brad's calling out your boy. He's saying, "Hey,
But that's BS that he cannot recover his money when it was a freaking lie. That is bull.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem. A lot of the focus in recent years, especially since George Floyd, has been towards qualified immunity, what police officers usually enjoy. Everybody forgets that prosecuting attorneys and judges receive absolute immunity, which is even more egregious when it's abused, such in my case.
Absolutely.
What was even more disconcerting than the bar to civil recovery was the fact that the special prosecutor sat in my office and said, well, she's a judge. She can do whatever she wants.
No.
And yeah, back then we didn't have a specific swatting statute. That was recently changed here this year to raise it to the level 6 felony. We had false informing, which is what I complained to the state police about. But the prosecuting attorney took no criminal action. And then the Supreme Court took no action on the administrative side either against her law license. So I think even though you have all these different swatting incidents, I think it's important that the taxpayers, the voters, reach out to their prosecuting attorneys and say, we're not going to stand for this because, you know, the minute you devalue the rule of law and sell that out to partisan politics is the minute you metaphorically turn this country towards a direction towards the Spanish Civil War. And if you've done any reading on the Spanish Civil War, you know, it's a place we don't want any part of.
We don't want to go. Well,
it's probably because of the liberal judges, you know, is what I'm reading in the comments by D2 Indy. Get out of here with that nonsense.
Liberal judges.
Yeah.
No, it's just
the judge that swatted me was a Republican. She had served as the prosecuting attorney of Carroll County, Indiana.
Yeah, that. Well, and I think that
it's on both sides of everything. It's
absolutely.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, the law is the law. I mean, even that, you know, justice is blind, right? But it doesn't seem like that's happening a lot. It seems like people do judge shopping. I've heard that term, judge shopping. It's we want to get the right judge on the federal levels of things.
Well, yeah, and I think that can be addressed through legislation, as well as these ridiculous temporary restraining orders, TROs, where one judge in the Eastern District of Kansas can shut down the entire country. But I think that can be addressed with legislation. To get a hold of swatting in this whole outbreak, I guess that's the best way to describe it, of false informing, I think is to get on top of the prosecuting attorney of each county and say, hey, look, we insist that you take the political blinders off and enforce the rule of law equally here, whether it's a Democrat, whether it's a communist, whether it's a Republican, regardless of who's perpetrating these swatting incidents, that they need to stop, because it's a good way to get a lot of people hurt real quick. And then you start having retaliation. The swatting incidents can work both ways.
And that was my question to my source that I asked. I said, well, why don't the law enforcement know this swatting's a possibility after 2 or 3 of them? You think 4 or 5. By the time it gets to that, when that person's name pops up on the 911 or whatever, that you would think, hey, we need to make a phone call or, you know, take this a little differently. But the way he explained it to me is it comes in and they don't know who it is. They just have to go to this address and get there as quickly as possible. And if they don't, they might be liable if somebody gets hurt. So therefore, there's not any time to really analyze who this person is and what's going on. So they go just like they would with anybody, with the guns ablazing and ready for a domestic with somebody shooting. Well, and unfortunately, we have a lot of people that have done that here.
I think the problem is higher than the police officers. Now, in my case, I was very fortunate in that the officers involved in the investigation were all experienced, retired individuals, level-headed, not some 24-year-old with an itchy trigger finger who handled it appropriately. I think they were nothing but complete professionals. However, it gets to the political level, in that usually in most counties, Democrat or Republican, Kim Jong-un of North Korea usually has a smaller victory margin than the prosecuting attorney of each county. And I think the real solution is for the voters of each county to pay attention to who the prosecuting attorney is and make sure they're not some part, to use the term, a partisan hack. So, you have to get someone invested in protecting the rule of law. Now, my theory for electing the prosecuting attorney has always been unique, but I think it's a good one. If you line up all the attorneys on a giant yellow line in the county and you say, whoever wants to be prosecuting attorney, take a step forward, you elect the one that jumps back the fastest, the quickest, who jumps backwards off the line. You make the person who doesn't want the position, you make them the chief law enforcement officer of the county. That way they don't want to remain there. That way they don't have a vested interest in their decisions, and they can call balls and strikes in a nonpartisan manner. Well, at least, reducing the political nature of the office.
Yeah.
What I want to come on and tell people is a lot of people don't understand the power of the prosecuting attorney of your county. You are the apex predator. You are the chief law enforcement officer of the county because your word is final. Indiana doesn't have grand juries. You can call grand juries for certain cases, but it's one of the few rights from the Bill of Rights that is not incorporated via the 14th Amendment from the federal Constitution to the states. So until that happens, I think in Indiana, we've got to pay a lot more attention to who becomes the prosecuting attorney.
Yeah, well, and I think that a lot of people the viewers are from Central Indiana, and they're familiar with Marion County, and that's the first thing that popped into my mind when you said we need competent prosecutors, and we're constantly seeing on the news that someone that had 27 convictions is out on no bond and committing more crimes, and it just sets a tone of, hey, we don't really care. Go ahead and wild west.
We're throwing it back on people to pay attention. Oh God, that's like the Andrew Horning libertarian solution, but it's a chore and it'll never ever happen. Look at how many people don't pay attention to anything. It is.
Yeah. It's astounding.
Yeah. Well, you said Beetlejuice 3 times. I mean libertarian. So Lucy, what are you hearing here?
Well, I'm hearing, a couple of things. First, I'm hearing that once again, people are put in positions of power in government that have absolutely zero business being done. And in fact, the most deplorable person is the one who wants to roll over you and therefore goes through it. Steve Goldsmith comes to mind, from my growing up in Indiana, and his desire to consolidate power. But Kirk, I got to hand it to you. This is the first time we've had somebody utter the word umbrage on the show, so you get the prize
first
today.
Out of 250
Stick
shows.
around. I'll throw out an assuming arguendo. Things like that. I can speak some Russian. I'll use some Russian phrases, maybe some French. It's a good time.
We could get Barry White to come on and say them, and it really sounds sexy. So I was watching the David Letterman top 10 with Barry White, words that Barry White would say and made him say. I was just laughing. That was years ago. But anyway, I digress. So Lucy, we know how you like the authorities and all that. I
like the pronouns.
Yeah.
Special people get special privileges.
But this swatting thing, you got to be, no libertarian got swatted, and actually no Democrat got swatted, but the Democrats, they're against this. Yeah,
but John,
why they not get swatted?
Well, okay, so let's talk about swatting for a second, because I have children that are gamers and that have been gamers back into the early 2000s. So this kind of nonsense has been going on for a really long time. So what we have with swatting is we have anonymity and we have a crime. But then we also have the state creating similar crimes through civil asset forfeiture. They regularly show up at the wrong address, but we don't consider that swatting. Like, the police can't even literally read an address and get it correct. And so I would kind of put all of that in with the same thing, where you have somebody who is targeted for the wrong reason. if I'm going to go buy $20,000 worth of plants at a show, like I better not take cash with me, because if I get, pulled over because they're on the Stingray or the flock cameras have got me again, then they're going to steal my $20,000. But they are the state; they have the power of the state. So I'm not surprised at all that Kirk had that problem with a judge, targeting him, because these people literally think that they are above the law. They think that they have the power. The power to tax is the power to destroy, and they think that they literally have the moral power to target us and steal from us, even more
You
than
just
they
say
do
the
on the
power
daily.
to tax is the power to destroy.
Yes.
Supreme Court case.
Oh my God, that was great to hear.
You
I
thought
don't think
that was
I.
original to me? No, man,
Well, no, I
I
mean I
just
don't care
quote
that it
greatness.
wasn't, but that was like, like things like that need to be said out loud more often. I feel.
I got
Because
another one. I
yeah,
mean,
keep going.
I could keep going on the taxes thing, but one of the things that I always try and point out to liberals like yourself, right, is taxes. So if we have people and we want them to be healthy, we put taxes on things like alcohol or
Cigarettes.
cigarettes.
Sin taxes.
So we put taxes on things to discourage them. Income taxes discourage people from earning income.
Oh yeah,
Property
yeah.
taxes discourage people from owning property.
Well, it goes all the way back to Adam and Eve. Hey, don't eat that fruit. Just like we're just to discourage you from that. And how'd that work out? It's been a downhill slide ever since. But the taxes thing. I think we've been taxed for so long and so much that we're just numb to it. I just want to get my little bit so I can go retire to my double wide in Florida and
No,
ride off in
I
the
think
sunset.
the thing that helps the state collect the most in taxes is the obfuscation of it. For example, most people go to work, they're W-2 employees, and their employer is in collusion with the government to steal their money before it ever makes it to you. So you earn $1,000, but you only get $788 in your paycheck. So because you never had that extra $212 in your hand, it doesn't feel real. If instead we had tax collectors come door to door, they might get tarred and feathered, because they would be standing with you saying, hey, we got 9 million people in Israel and we got 400 million people here, but we're supposed to fund their entire country and all of their wars. And we want you to take out of that $212, Lucy, I want you to give me $88.72, for those.
If you want to change the tax code overnight, eliminate withholding.
Yes.
It'll change in weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
If
Well,
there was
and
no
it's sad.
withholding and
Yeah. As an employer, I have to pay half of my people's, Social Security and all
people
that
don't
stuff.
even know what a bad deal it is. I mean, Kirk, you've probably done the math before. Like,
He's
if you
got
just
people.
take 15% on somebody that makes $40,000 a year for 40 years, and you take that at 7 or 8% or whatever the stock market would have done if they've been able to put that 15% aside, it's like $3 million.
Yeah.
And then, it's real easy to earn 4 or 5% on $3 million. So all of our retirees who worked 40 years at an average of a $20 a year job or $20 an hour job, man, they should all have $10,000 a month to spend just from the dividends or from the interest rate.
Well, it'd be 150, but yeah, at 3 million it'd be 150.
Yeah, I was even going on the low side. But for those of you who don't know, go back to the Federal Register in September of 2012, because you might remember that in March of 2013 is when they did the bail-in on the island of Cyprus. And so in September of 2012, the Federal Register, they were talking, and then it gets published, 6 months later, but they were talking about 401ks being under the Department of Labor. And so this was a Department of Labor discussion. Here's what's crazy. You think about all of us coming out of 2008, 9, 10, 11. I mean, I lost my butt in real
The good
estate.
years.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I lost
Oh no, that
a
was
lot of money
great. I
there.
loved it.
Yeah, it really forged me into the tax government hating woman
What doesn't kill me made me stronger.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then then who could imagine that we'd have this inflation between Trump and Biden that's even killing us more. But anyway, the point is that I want to point out to people, in case you're not aware, since we are currently in the everything bubble, is that back then people were holding their money in cash in money markets. They weren't investing in the stock market because they were scared. They didn't want to invest in real estate because prices had gone up and down. So what this gosh, I think her name was Giannini. It was an Italian sounding name, but she was recorded in the Federal Register as saying that she proposed GSA, government secured annuities. And you know how with some annuities you can buy and you're buying an income stream, like from an insurance company. And with some annuities, when you die, it goes on to your heirs. And with other annuities, when you die, it doesn't go on to your heirs. So she literally suggested that people be forced to take 50% of their 401ks. I don't think IRAs were included, but definitely the 401ks because they're under the Department of Labor. So 50% of everything that you have would be taken and handed over to Wall Street. So they're like, yeah, give me this big bunch of money. But she was selling the idea of how, volatile the stock market is, and people like us, little lowly people, the plebes, we need to be protected. So she was going to make sure that we made a 3% return on that money, like guaranteed 3% return. Like, how dismal is that? But the government can't give you a 3% return on the money just by stealing it from you. So she was going to give it to Wall Street in anticipation that Wall Street would make 7, 8, or 9% with it. And then she would pay us 3. And then the government would get the difference on all of that. So look for those things coming up. It hasn't happened yet, but I think especially
it's the only way they can sustain the welfare state. There are trillions upon trillions of dollars invested privately through ETFs, through 401ks. I have an SEP, Simples, what have you. So you rob banks because that's where the money is, according to Mr. Sutton. And that's where government's got to go to continue this Ponzi game. Otherwise, it all falls apart. You're 38 trillion in the hole. You got to get more money. You got to get a new injection. You can only do that with going after private investments.
Kirk, you're my spirit animal. Like, what do you do when no other country will buy your bonds? You force your citizens, force it down their throats.
They have to. It's a matter of time when they do it. But yeah, the federal government has to do something because they're not going to shrink the role of government. Money's being used to buy votes on both sides.
What about Doge? Like that's still going to save us some money, right?
Too little, too late. You've got to make broad, sweeping eliminations. You can't do the green visor and the red line. You've got to take out entire departments. Education, energy, commerce, on and on.
Do it.
Yeah, they can't. It's politically, it's gridlocked, and I don't think you're going to have that until you start having defaults, which is tragic because
then it goes down.
Only the poor are going to suffer.
Yeah, it goes down fast. So Kelly, you've posted a couple things in the chat here. What's this?
That
Facebook
is Janae's link to sign the petition for that Morgan County. Is it Monroe or Morgan? I can't remember.
It's Monroe County.
County. The tax fraud. Please
share for the assessor's office.
Yes, share it on all your everywhere. Share it everywhere. We have to have 1,000 signatures by like Friday.
I think it's up to 358 last I checked.
It's up to
so you just go
392.
there, fill out the little thing, sign it, and then
It takes 5 seconds.
5 seconds. And then what's this other one? What's this? Oh, this is the same.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. So and Janae's been on our show a couple times, and she's down there fighting.
Her.
She's been down there fighting. Well, you just have the same hair. That's why.
Well, I'm going for her hair, hopefully.
You're getting there.
But no, she is busting her ass trying to get this exposed, and she just keeps hitting walls.
Yeah, they just do not. It's going to take work to get into it, and they don't want to be doing that work.
The governor and lieutenant governor is supposed to be helping her, and
So Kirk, up in
Micah's busy with the big rallies that him and Diego were hosting. They had so many people.
Neither one of those guys could do anything about any of that.
I want you guys to see though, like look how few people went to that, and that was the most successful rally that the state has ever had. They're doing the sessions now.
All 50. Yeah.
Like, property tax had way more people. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. That's right. So Kirk, you're up in Carroll County. Is that correct?
Negative. Tippecanoe County.
Tippecanoe County. So how was your assessment?
That's where Richard is.
Yeah. Richard Bagsby's running against Ron Alting.
I think I saw a flyer on his door a couple months ago on my door. Yeah.
Yeah. He says he's getting out there. He's
Great
determined.
Guy. Great guy.
He's a good guy to talk to. Yeah.
an interesting story. He's come from pretty much the streets of Gary to, he's had some adversity. Let's just put it that way. A lot of different things happen, but he has definitely turned his life around. And I think he's a guy that can, you can't pull much over on him. He's pretty street smart. So up in your county, Tippecanoe, have you noticed the assessments gone up a lot? I know here in Marion County, it's been brutal. Mine's gone up like every year to a bunch, and I'm over market value. I'm going to appeal it again to get it to be tamped down. But how is your assessment? Because Janae is in the assessor's office, and she's exposed all of these aggressive assessment policies that they've done, and they've just really assessed people's houses and jacked it up a lot.
Well,
So
we've been very fortunate. I've not noticed anything. I've noticed no change from last year, but I took my father's advice when I bought my house back in 97, and I bought 2 clicks down from where I could have bought. So I have a older home in an established neighborhood, which really benefited from the property tax reform. And I always say that the county commissioner job has got to be, I don't know, like one of the most underrated next to dog catcher jobs that you have, because we have the county commissioner system, unlike Marion County. And I think they've done a decent job of keeping spending under control, which is the whole key to keeping taxes down. So I am one to complain because I think it's important to complain when your government misbehaves. But from that aspect of it, I have not noticed any great gross inflation. But I live in an older neighborhood, established. I don't live in a McMansion. I didn't buy it off more than I could chew when I was in my 20s.
Well, and mine's 1918 house here in Mars Hill, so that must be like fine wine. It's really expensive to have a house in here, but mine went up 14,000 just last year, and it's even gone up, a lot since 2020. I started, or 2019, I was 45,000. Now I'm 328. So just gone up a little bit.
Another reason to give thanks that I do not live in Marion County.
Yeah.
Isn't that good news though? Like your property is increasing. Like that's a good investment, right? Like
no.
Yeah, I didn't see anybody from Marion County coming helping me put new siding on this place. I didn't see them.
No, I want to hear this argument though. Like
try $11,200 a year on for size.
Yeah, how much did yours go up?
It doubled from 5,500 to 11,000.
Yeah, and what are you getting? Exactly the same nothing you were getting before. I know where you live.
If Morgan County?
No, she's in Marion County.
Marion, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We drive on roads that you feel like you're driving across the Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Without
They've taken a lot of mortar fire down there. Last time I was in Indianapolis, they took a lot of mortar fire.
You know what I always love is when somebody says taxines are the price you pay for civilization. I'm like, well, clearly I got the Timu version.
Yeah, the Timu version.
Timu version of society for sure.
I get down to Marion County every now and then. They have a different definition of civilization when I have a case down there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I feel bad because that's my home. Mom and dad are still there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they haven't fled yet. Oh my gosh.
Hey, it's hard to get out. I mean, it's hard to get out.
You don't know my father. He won't spend money. So yeah, they're just gonna have to pour the concrete over the house. Entomb him right there.
Right there. That's how. It sounds like a typical West Sider to me.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the epitome.
So it's like the
star. There's another term.
Yeah, that's good. So, Kirk, we're going to go ahead and we're going to let you go. And we just appreciate you being on the show. I just think,
it was fun.
random.
Thank you for having me and letting me express my swatting incident and elaborating what I think we can do as a community to stop this.
Yep. And anybody up in the Lafayette or in that area up there, White County, all those counties up there.
White County.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, my great uncle was Glenn Slinker, who was in the House of Representatives from 1928 to like 1968 from Monticello. And I think that his building still has his name Slinker on there, but yeah,
it does. It's is that on the side of the square where the Roth Jewelers is?
Yeah, and it was the
I've
tornado and
there, so I've seen that. Yeah,
the tornado in '74 went right down Main Street, and he owned Horseshoe Bend, and then all my family's buried up there in the Riverview Cemetery. So there you go. I mean,
it's
got a
gorgeous.
little
That
connection
is
up there.
absolutely gorgeous with that forest. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
All right. Well, we thank you, Kurt. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
All right. So that was interesting, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous that he can't get his money back.
What was he being defamed for? Like, what was the?
Well, because they accused him of having a gun, and he didn't have a gun, and then he got basically swatted. So
having a gun is not a reason to feel ashamed.
Well, he didn't have one.
No, I know, but like, so even the claim of having a gun, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Defamation is a very hard thing to prove. I mean, obviously Trump can do it against ABC and CBS and the British BBC and all that.
Well, but they settle out of court, and I think it's just a lot easier to deal with a man-child like that with settlements.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, but anyway, you're a public figure. You're supposed to have thicker skin and do that. Now, in this case, he's not a public figure.
Right.
He's a lawyer going into a court where he's supposed to respect a judge that's trying to get him under the table, so to speak. So, to me, I think that this is worse than what our senators are going through right now. I just think and it's bad. All of it's bad, but in this case, the law enforcement's been professional. They have to be aware of the situation, especially when they get to a house like that it's not going to end badly, but it could. I mean, you look at the cleaning lady that went up to Whitestown to the wrong house, got shot through the door.
That's horrible.
I mean, it could get ugly fast. And I
just Bilberry
think
had a really good political spotlight thing on there with about that case. We should really do an episode just about that.
Yeah, let's
because that is
let that
crazy.
One. That one's sort of not.
It's not done yet either. I feel like.
Yeah, it's just not sitting well with me, and it is. But we'll see how things go. I hate to jump to conclusions. Just like in these swatting incidents, we have no idea who's doing this. I mean, if you were somebody who wanted to cause chaos, say on the other party, I mean, this would because. Most of the comments I see, it's like, oh, it's the Republicans doing it. How do you know?
But why isn't that? But I guess, John, but why isn't that like an initial thought? Like,
it's just, yeah. Well,
I mean, that is who they're being told to go target. Like, they are being given a list of names and people to go and.
I don't think they're going to swat them. I think they want them to call them, not swat them.
Well, but it's such a vague directive too that
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I've called no one. I've not done this, but as far as that goes, go ahead, Kelly.
I don't believe that they don't know who's doing it. I mean, we have the Patriot Act. We have all these other surveillance systems. Bullshit.
Yeah, well, like I said, it was a VPN. That's what some of the hipsters in the this sphere of things. They said, okay, you shoot it over to some foreign country and it comes back, and then they can't trace how it got to that country. So,
but you can get Netflix episodes and movies of
that's
not on your
So,
there's a whole weird.
And we got D2, and I like to point out we have some YouTube folks tonight, which is coming over from probably Whitty's show. He's more prominent on the YouTube. We're more prominent on Facebook, but D2 Indy is they're with you on this one, Kelly.
But even with John, I told you about the school. My son's school got.
Yeah,
swatted.
Tell us that story real quick. We got a couple minutes here. I want to maybe try to do conspiracy theory, but I don't know, maybe. Lucy, you got anything?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've always got
All
some.
right.
Lucy's always got one.
Brad,
Yeah,
we're
got
gonna
a bunch
do
in the chamber.
we're gonna do
Yeah.
5 minutes. So it's 9:51 right now, I think, or something like that. So we'll do 5 minutes on your story. Go.
Oh yeah. Okay. So at Alexandria Monroe High School, there was an active shooter that was called in. Somebody said that there was either an active shooter in the building or around the building. And I was actually driving to the school at the time to drop off something for the school librarian. And the police had already blocked off the entranceway. Like the cops that day did a great job completely.
Locking it down.
School did too. Yeah. But it was apparently it was a prank call, but we didn't know for the longest time. All the kids had to get bused to the Baptist church across from like the Pizza Hut and the Mexican restaurant. And so like we had to go wait for our kids to come in these buses, and we didn't know, information was trickling in everywhere. And it was just a really freaky, scary day. And I'm happy that it was,
So is that
nothing.
considered a swatting, or is that a swatting? I guess.
Well, it was because that was a phone call to them about an active shooter, like coming at the school, or that there
Okay,
wasn't
so
at the school.
they called the school, and then the school called the police because they had the threat. Is that?
Yeah.
Did I get that
Yeah,
right?
basically.
Okay, so I guess that's a swatting by proxy. I think there's a different way. We had a phone call swatting. You had a
No, I
swatting by
think
proxy.
I think the swatter called 911 directly. And
Oh,
said,
okay.
"Hey,
So
there's-"
that would, I think that'd be considered swatting then. So because that's how this works with them. There's a call into 911. 911 gets it, they dispatch. And,
well, that's it too. Is like, so are they getting more threats then too about every office holder?
Were they getting what threats?
Yeah, and also wait, is it effective? Apparently, is the threats and is swatting effective? Because
That's a very good question. I think that it is not. I think it is somewhat of a distraction. It's not going to change these people's minds. I don't.
No, like the
either
Congress
way
is going back into session and now,
Yeah.
right?
How'd that
December
work?
1st and December 8th. That didn't happen before this.
Yeah, it might have even backfired, Brad. It might have even backfired because now it's like, oh, okay. And then that adds a whole nother layer of who's doing it, who's going to benefit from this. I mean, it is just it's sort of like a fake AI video. If you don't have the video, you ain't got any proof. And it's like this: if we don't know where it came from, we don't know who did it. But the political games. I mean, I think
Yeah,
the
with
public is
everybody
getting
claiming
weary.
like to tone down the rhetoric because of Charlie Kirk, it is such a it's an empty kind of promise, or it's an empty wish if this is still where we're at.
Yeah, no, it's not. If anything, it's like in Porky's. Remember in Porky's when they glued the gas pedal down with the glue? Maybe you didn't.
Well, but that's it. Like
that's where we're
somebody's
at.
gonna
We're
hurt.
right
Yeah,
there.
somebody's gonna keep getting hurt, and it's
Yeah.
you know.
Yep. So okay. So Kelly or Lucy, you got any comments on that? Because I'm getting ready to roll this beautiful conspiracy theory tape.
That's all cool, but let's get to the conspiracy theories.
Okay. How about you, Kelly? Any questions? Any
What's the
comments?
difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth, Lucy?
About 6 months.
Yes.
You guys are funny.
Hey, y'all, it's time for the conspiracy theory, so you better get your tinfoil hat out and let's see what's going on this week.
I still have these colanders sitting over here, I think. Yep. I just need to get them distributed. And I've seen somebody, Brad or somebody in the thing, and then you could make your own tinfoil hat. It's a pretty good one. I could go to war in this too.
It looks like a UFO.
Yeah, it's like, but I got my antennas out there.
Mm-hmm.
I like that part. Yeah.
So anyway, Lucy, you called for this. So we got 4 minutes. So make it quick.
Data centers. So
Oh,
everybody
God.
is saying that, oh, we need AI, we need data centers. And the reason we need data centers is because we need to do more AI. Simply not true. The
New.
only reason that they need all of that storage space is because they're creating the digital prison and making the literal backbone that is going to keep you from maybe 4 or 5 years from now, maybe sooner. I mean, it could be worse, from being able to buy beef. You're going to end up having to buy, eat the bugs. Yeah, it is supposed to be 2030. That's what I say. So a lot of you are not thinking properly about this. Everybody's so there's always stupid people on Facebook. They're like, yay, data centers jobs. And like, dude,
They are so freaking stupid.
they are incredibly freaking
They
stupid.
don't know what it's going to do to our freaking electricity bills and
No,
water.
they have no idea.
You won't be able to
Yeah.
pay your property taxes. Your bill's going to be so high.
So anyway, I want to urge everybody that can to think about going ahead and putting solar on your homes right now, because solar right now, people don't realize where the solar demand is going for residential. It's going to go sky high. And if you can figure out how to do the solar yourself, I go on Facebook Marketplace all the time, and there are people that are selling used commercial grade solar panels. So, go get yourself some solar array, because what's about to happen is already happened in Pennsylvania. The data centers, multi-billion-dollar companies who can afford to pay more, they are literally pitted against your local residential electric utility, and it's in an auction. So, like the Indiana Regulatory Commission, IURC, they say, okay, you can only charge $1 a kilowatt hour. So great, you're going to get a $350 bill for 350 kilowatt hours at $1 kilowatt hour, and you're going to use the same amount of electricity. But after that data center's in, they have to auction style grab that electricity for you. So you're going to see the other line item that you probably never noticed before, which is a supply charge. That's one of the reasons why your bill goes up and down. And so that supply charge is allowed to be passed on to the customer. So you are going to see, when these data centers come online, you're going to see your bills double, triple, maybe even quadruple. So if you are thinking about solar on a residential level, do it now.
All right. You used up all the time.
Lucy, like my mouth or like my mask popped off because of the wokeness. When you started talking about solar, I'm like, what?
Where's that coming from? Where's that coming from?
Oh, I mean, solar.
We got to keep it moving here. We got to keep it moving. Don't talk about it.
Sorry.
You used up 4 of the 5 minutes. Brad, what's your conspiracy? You got like one sentence.
Mine is just remember the UPS plant explosion? That feels like a long time ago, and I feel like we still need answers on that. And that was the most dramatic, like, special effect thing I've ever seen. And the immediacy that we've all forgotten about it, I think, is just weird.
Well,
next shiny object.
All right, Kelly, do you have one?
No, but I was just going to say, we looked into solar years ago, but we're in the middle of a forest, so we can't have it.
Yeah, you got it. You're back there in God's country paying all those property taxes.
So
okay,
do you have a small stream?
No, we're not doing this, Lucy. We're not trying to solve all of her problems right now. I got to get this show done at 10 o'clock. But I did start a little late because I had technical, so I'm going to give it an extra minute. Mine is the Japanese have developed a mushroom that's going to replace meat.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep. That's true.
On that same subject, there is cure for alpha gal, just in case anybody gets bit by one of those Bill Gates ticks. There is a cure for alpha gal.
What is it?
I mean, I'd
you have to tune in next week to find out.
But it is curable.
You can't just drop information
like that.
I'm sorry.
That's just, hey, everybody say bye.
Bye.